Member from Stony Creek, Hamilton East Stony
Thank
Creek.
you, Speaker. My question is to the Acting Premier. 2 weeks ago, I warned that the Pan Am Games in Hamilton could be at risk. Yesterday, the City of Hamilton said the same, but this government isn't listening again. Well, the Mayor of Hamilton has now sent a Premier a letter demanding answers. I quote, "Key elements of the Hamilton Stadium will not have arrived on site and be installed until the end of June. The city's ability to host the Pan Am Games soccer matches at the new stadium also is in jeopardy. The Hamilton Stadium was meant to be ready last June. Every week since then has brought another excuse, another reassurance, and another empty promise. Can you personally promise that the stadium will be ready, and will you do if it isn't? And who will the Premier hold accountable for this utter fiasco?"
Thank you. Deputy Premier.
To the Minister responsible for the Parapan Am Games.
Thank you.
Minister responsible for the Parapan Games.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank the member for the question. Good question. There's 73 more days to go until we welcome the world to Ontario for the largest multi-sport event in the history of this province. And, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to our infrastructure, we're in great shape. We're $55.5 million under budget when it comes to our infrastructure. When it comes to corporate Canada, we've been able to raise $170 million from corporate sponsorship. We have 60,000 people who have offered to help, and the highest per capita coming from Hamilton. In fact, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to Hamilton, the flame cauldron that's going to be used will be using Hamilton steel. And Mr. Speaker, the soccer matches that are going to be held in Hamilton are one of our best sold tickets, and we've been able to sell 350,000 tickets so far. So the people of Hamilton on board, the people of Ontario on board, and we're...
Thank you. Supplementary. Well, even though you didn't answer the question, I guess the Mayor of Hamilton disagrees with you. I quote again, "The continued public communication of the May 8th substantial completion date creates false expectations. After ONSS delivers a substantially completed stadium, the sponsors need to complete an additional construction work and training in advance of any events taking place in Hamilton. We also have learned that they've managed somehow to build 700 seats without a view of the field, a fitting monument to this government's blindness and management. Yesterday, 3 reporters tried to get answers from the contractor and from Infrastructure Ontario, an agency of this government, about the delays. They were told that any facts on the delays were commercial issues and confidential. The refusal of a public agency to answer these questions is simply outrageous. Deputy Premier, since Infrastructure Ontario won't give a straight answer to the people of Ontario, will you give us one today?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the member opposite needs to check in with the City Hall, because the City of Hamilton issued an occupancy permit for the stadium on April 16th. And I'm quite proud of the fact that we're able to move forward, and this is one of the best milestones we've reached in the Hamilton Stadium. So thank you very much for the question, and thank you to the member for providing me with an opportunity to...
The member from Hamilton East Stony Creek. The member from Hamilton East Stony Creek is warned. And whoever's starting that will get one too. One wrap-up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The simple fact is this is the largest investment in sport infrastructure in the history of this province, and we are proud of our record, Mr. Speaker.